Um, right, so I'm gonna go into pits. In pits you can get all of these items, but you need to remember that these blockchain items they drop uh, no matter the level or anything. If you're higher level, you get more chances to get stuff. But usually you will only get from mining iron ores, coal, or bauxite and the seismic dust until your mining is low level. When you're going into a dungeon, you can only use summons. For example, in chambers, you can only use uncommons. I believe in pits, you can use rare items if you want. So pretty much the trick to it uh, is to try to bait them into trying to hitting you, and then hitting them, or by the time they get to you, you hit them like this. So you click beforehand, and you just dodge and try not not to get caught up with them. I mean, ideally you should take the least amount of damage, especially the beginning, just to see when you get through it. So you can get through it because whatever happens, if you die, whatever you got inside is just gonna stay inside. It doesn't matter what item it is, it's gonna it's gonna get lost. Uh, but for example, if you take in any blockchain item, uh, and if you die, it's not gonna get lost. It's gonna get back into your stash. So that's one thing to not worry about. In pits, you need to be careful about these manholes or whatever is this. You can catch on fire and um, it gives you burning damage, which is pretty much you catch on fire, and it will take you roughly 150 200 damage right off the bat. Uh, so you would want to skip it. So here is the Ogum, is the biggest monster in here. So what you need to do is try to trigger him to attack you, and once he does that, you can move away from him and then shoot back to it. It's once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy to do. So the Skulk are spitting silk on you, or well, yeah, silk on you, and you make sure you don't get caught up because if you get caught up with other monsters, so not just the Skulk, then you can take a hell of a lot of damage for no reason, really. So each dungeon has each in pits in here. In this dungeon, each run has roughly 3 to 4 um, mineable stone. You have a chance to get something or not. If you get XP, you always get XP. But you don't get item, that's fine. But if you don't get item and neither XP, you might want to stand there for a bit because sometimes it lags and it drops the item a little bit later. You will see on the map if something dropped on the floor. It's a little circle. So once, for example, once the skulk has shot, it has a little bit of cooldown to it. So you're just gonna stand there and wait for it to attack again. You can use the map to see uh, how many enemies are in there. Even if you don't see what kind of enemies are in there, you will see how many. You can see how many monsters in the room. Yeah, and I just got caught on fire. Obviously, these are something that you just need to be aware of. It's pretty straightforward. Reds are not reds. Elites are shooting fireballs. You have time after they shot. You have time to shoot twice. If you have enough energy, then you should be fine with it. If you get too close to it, it will do an explosion and thus make you catch on fire. In the map, there are like destroyable items like that, and like that, or like that, but they don't really give anything here. But on other maps, they can give you gold, so keep that in mind to destroy all of those stuff. You can try to trigger them and then run away if you don't feel comfortable with it. It's pretty much right click all the way with the bow. Um, almost everything dies in one right click, except the breath and the elites. But it's pretty much doable. You can see all of these monsters are really slow, so you have time to shoot them before they get to you, and that's the main idea to do it. To have a look around, what kind of monsters are there, and just shoot them before they get to you. Um, pretty much. Sometimes in this room, um, there is some mineable here on this side. Make sure you always check it. A pits run shouldn't take more than 7 minutes-ish once you get used to it. Here is Orgum again. We're gonna bait him out to attack me. And I missed it. Yeah, when he has 2 attacks, this is the first attack, and that's the second attack. When he attacks the second time, then you have time for 2 shots, if you will. Your energy is always regenerating to 250, back to 250. So you can use it, use your skill many times as you want. Don't need to worry about it using them. And that's a lag now. So I opened it up, but haven't opened it up yet. And there you go. If you hear like a guitar solo, or like I don't even know what I would call it, like a guitar sound, that means that you got a drop that's more that's more rare than uncommon. So anything above uncommon, it will make that sound, that guitar sound. And I don't think I have finished this dungeon yet. Just have a look around. Because there is in the dungeons there should be 3 chests in pits. But I might have missed somewhere. It wasn't here, was it? It wasn't? So yeah, try to not miss those, because chests have a chance to give you blockchain items. The chest is really, really low. Really, really low. So you're gonna have to open up a lot of chests. Ah, I see. To get something. I specifically haven't got anything from chest yet, but I got from mining. I got blockchain items from mining and from um, from killing monsters. That's pretty much what you need to do is just grind through this whole thing as many times as you're possibly available to. There you go. This is the door I missed. And at this point, I'm almost finished with the dungeon. I shouldn't really care about my health. So just run through the whole thing. Oh yeah, of course. So with big rocks, what you need to do is just beat it up with left click and just wait for it to finish. Or otherwise, you can get an explosive and just blow it up by itself, so you can run through the dungeons quicker. It's not always spawns. I would say it spawns 1 out of 4 times. But then again, it varies. Sometimes it spawns twice in the same dungeon, and 2 of your chests are locked away. But you don't need to do too much. You just hold left click and just pretty much wait for it to finish. You can't do it with a bow, so you need to do it with a sword or an axe. Um, Try to make sure that you kill everything in the dungeon, because you never know which mob or which monster is gonna give you an item. Each dungeon has been pre-generated, so that means that, for example, if you leave the dungeon halfway through, so you go escape and Abaddon, or quit the game, you can't leave the dungeon until you finish the dungeon or died. So you have to finish it, and you're gonna get back into the beginning of the dungeon with a bit of health penalty. So try to keep in mind, you need to know that you're gonna be able to get out of the dungeon before you get into one. Otherwise, you're gonna lose your stuff. If you're not sure about a dungeon that you haven't been uh, in a dungeon, one of those, a new one, then just go there with no stuff at all. Uh, have a feel how the enemies feel in that dungeon. Uh, Try to figure out how you can kill them by strategy, with taking the least amount of damage, of course. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. You just run through these dungeons, you kill everything, you open the free chests, you mine the free things that you need to mine, or you can mine, and there you go. That's pretty much all the game that there is. I can I can make one video with Ashwoods as well. That's a little bit more tricky because there's no fire damage there, but there's poison damage there. And while the fire damage only lasts for 3 to 5 seconds, the I took 13 minutes. Jeez, that's slow. But the poison lasts for a minute roughly, and it does a hell of a lot more damage. So that's pretty much it. You gather all the items. Once you understand this pits, you don't necessarily need to go back to the tavern and put down your stuff. You just go back into it, because you're gonna get 4 to 5 stuff, or 3 to 4 stuff each run. So you can do 3, 4 runs after another, and then just go back to the tavern, put down your stuff, come back to it, and hit it again. But definitely needed a at least a bow to do so. Alright, so that's pretty much it.